Breathe, A Life in Flow by Rickson Gracie. How did it start? Hideo Maeda, from Japan, after fighting around the world, came to Brazil and taught Rickson's uncle the art. His uncle Carlos, the little gringo with the blonde hair, saw firsthand how a smaller guy with skill could beat a bigger guy. Helio, Rickson's father, learned from Carlos and others in the family. The genealogy, or family tree, is complicated. Helio and Carlos set out to create a jiu-jitsu family dynasty. Like biblical times, if the wife wasn't able to have children, they would bear children with their housemaid, etc. Rickson's birth mother was actually an Afro-Brazilian maid, which Rickson found out about years later. An extravagant ruse was put on with the wife going to the hospital and coming back with the new baby, when it was actually the maid that had given birth. One time, Rickson's father Helio was like, "You want some brothers?" Took Rickson to an apartment, and there, for the first time, met his half-brothers Hoyler and Hoyce. Rickson said his mother would cry a lot, and so Rickson realized this kind of old-school thinking wasn't so fair to his mother. Rickson didn't shy away from the tough topics in this book. When Rickson was a preteen, he got somewhat involved in crime and drugs. Rickson admitted he cheated on his wife. The cheating started after the birth of their first child. Rickson throws plenty of shade on his older brother Horian, disagreements mainly about paying for training and teaching that Rickson had done. Rickson versus Kazushi Sakuraba. Many people wanted to see Rickson fight Kazushi Sakuraba. Rickson was offered $5 million to fight. After Sakuraba beat Rickson Gracie, in which Rickson was in the corner, Sakuraba took to the mic and said to the crowd, "I'm hearing they are saying they didn't tap. I want to know how he would have gotten out of that hold. Please let me fight your older brother. Thank you." To raucous applause from the Japanese crowd. However, Rickson's heart wasn't into it after the death, or I should say the murder of his oldest son, Rickson. Rumor had it that he had died in a motorcycle accident, which was the story that the family initially went with until they could gather more information. The cause of death was actually a drug overdose in a squalor-known drug house in New York by Chinatown. Due to the strange circumstances, Rickson is convinced it was a murder, but didn't want to pursue that any further because Rickson wanted to move on and be there for his family. Rickson, the champion of the Gracie family. After about 5 years of grieving and helping his family get through this tough time, asked his wife Kim for a divorce. Rickson went back to Brazil to live a simpler life. He ended up remarrying, moving back to California. He continues to this day doing jiu-jitsu seminars. Rickson often can be seen cornering his son's Crohn's fights. Rickson remarks that the one thing he learned from his son's, Rickson's death, is that he no longer had the luxury of wasted time.